we focus that energy on. You know, I know drum circles may sound like a weird thing, but I promise, go to a drum circle, any kind of drum circle where there's people singing and dancing and drumming, and just let yourself relax and enjoy it, and I promise you, you will enjoy it. And sometimes a drum circle, we do something that we call soul singing. We shut all the lights off and we sing in the dark. We use singing bowls and we lightly drum and we start oming and singing and chanting anything that comes to mind, anything that we're feeling. That's the idea. What we're feeling is what we sing. And nothing is actually planned out. And after a while, the energy will grow and grow, and soon you have 18, 20 or more people singing and drumming wildly. And to an outsider, soul singing will sound or appear strange, but this is what a round of soul singing sounds like at its climax. And that is a drum circle.
We're going to Pagan Pride, and I'm getting my exercise for the day. Huzzah!
I am pagan, and I'm proud. I am pagan, gonna shout it loud. I am pagan, want the world to know that I follow the goddess 'cause she rocks my soul.
Basically what Pagan Pride festivals are for is a massive networking event. We've probably got about 30 or 40 vendors here from all over the New England. They're here selling their own handmade crafts. You can get crowns, cloaks, other costumes and garbs. You can buy swords, you can buy books.
And so while we were here, I got to talk to some local witches about their experience with witchcraft and their personal history.
My name's Joy Costanza. I'm actually a full-time healer, shaman, and witch. I have been on a path of shamanism for a long time. I do rituals. I'm with the Temple of Witchcraft. I read for them. I do healing work through the temple. Pagan Pride Day is important. I mean, it's a way for people in the community to be able to see what is going on and that it's not scary. And it actually has a whole lot of meaning to it. And for people who aren't into this and don't understand it, I mean, it's a matter of just, it's really about getting to know yourself better.
Author of books on Wicca and witchcraft.
And I'm Stephanie Taylor Gramassi. I'm also an author of 2 oracle decks that I co-created and co-wrote with Raven, as well as doing many other things that converge with all of our business ventures that have to do with our spiritual path.
Our focus is upon what we call old world witchcraft, which is the ideas of our ancestors, things that are rooted in primal concepts, as opposed to some of the modern Wiccan or modern witchcraft. And we're a little bit different too than what people would call traditional witchcraft, because those contain elements that do not appear in our own system, mainly because we try to focus more on indigenous European themes that did not bring in other cultural concepts. So ours is a very old way of looking at the witches of days of old and how they connect to nature, to herbalism.
Than anyone else. We are here
Russ
to educate.
Leonardo is the public relations for the Witches Education League of Salem, Massachusetts. I got to talk to him today about the organization as well as his own background as a witch and a druid.
Honor people for what they believe in. Blessing. My name is Russ Leonardo. I am a druid and witch, Welsh trained, born. I'm born Welsh, raised and trained by my grandmother and grandfather in the old ways. I've been practicing for 40 plus years. I am the Public Relations Director for the Witches Education League in Salem, Massachusetts. Well's primary function is to educate everyone about the truth about witchcraft and witches, to stop the lies and the Hollywood hype about what we aren't. We don't drink baby's blood. We don't go out and sacrifice human beings. We don't ride brooms. Yes, we do spells, but spells are a manifestation of a thought. And all religions do that in prayer or other ways.
Happy Halloween, everybody! It's snowing! Yay!
Happy Samhain, Charlie Brown! Bloody Jesus. Apparently I suck. I'm bad at this. Yes. No, I've got it. I shanked it.
You just said yes.
Samhain for us is like the New Year.
It's also the celebration of our ancestors and those who we've loved and lost.
Ancestors, beloved ones, come to us this night. Bless us with your love. We shall always remember. Our dead we call.
We remember them by eating food that they may have made for us when we were kids. Or, for example, I have a friend who passed away. I'm bringing a bottle of Mountain Dew because it was his favorite drink, just to remember him.
So Samhain for the ancient Celts was the last harvest before the winter frost, which, as you can see the snow, it has already frosted. So, if we were ancient Celts right now, our main worry would be, do we have enough food to last us the winter? Are we in good health to survive the winter? If we have a poor harvest, we're not going to survive. Nowadays, we take a lot of things for granted, like our technology, and the fact that we don't have to worry about going hungry or freezing in the winter. So, on Samhain, we like to light a fire and just remember our ancestors and all the struggles they went through.
It has been a rumor that we worship a Lord Samhain. There is no Lord Samhain. Samhain is the roughly Gaelic translation for summer's end. We're celebrating the beginning of a new year and the harvest. We don't worship a Lord Samhain. He doesn't exist. And we don't worship any demons.
Not only do we not worship dark evil things, we don't acknowledge their existence.
Right.
Why give power to something evil? So the darkness, the dark theme and the death theme of Samhain come into play where, yes, it's the dying time of year, it's cold, the trees are dying. It's not necessarily an evil thing. It's just the mysteries of life and death, things we don't understand.
It's the cycle of life.
The cycle of life.
Things go to sleep and then things come back again. It's just the changing seasons. It's what we celebrate.
At the Robin's Nest for Samhain, we gathered in a dark ritual room where the altar boasted apples, a fruit symbolic of the harvest. Also photos of our late friends and relatives, and any offerings we had brought for them. I brought cookies for my grandmother, as well as a small vial of my grandfather's ashes that I always keep under my altar at home. One of the nesters dressed up as the grandmotherly goddess Caradwen, a figure representing death who was often honored at Samhain. We also wrote the names of our loved ones on candles to honor them, hoping they would return to visit us. Happy Samhain.
So recently I was initiated into the Kuruchu clan. They invited me to join and I accepted on my own free will. But before I could actually be initiated into the clan, I had to go through a period of study in which I learned the traditions, the customs, and the basic idea of Celtic theology. Then, for my actual initiation, they brought me out to the oak tree outside in the yard, where I read vows promising to be a productive member of the clan, to always respect nature, and to further my knowledge and practice. So one of the cool things about joining a clan or a tribe or a witches' coven is that you do it by choice. Nobody really forces you into it, and that's really good because there's this conception that, you know, witches and everything and pagans, they're this cult. But nobody actually tricks you into joining. Witches and pagans, they're not a cult. It's just an alternative religion, a nature-based religion that you choose to join into through your own knowledge and through your own choice, basically.
So this is my ancestral altar. I have two altars in my room for two very different purposes. This is my main altar that I use mostly every day. So the collage is pretty important to me. I have it over my altar for obvious reasons. It's my spirit family. It's all my closest friends. The thing I like about this is these pictures go back to when we were 19 years old, and we're 24, 25 now, so a lot of history in these few pictures. These four are the gods that I'm closest to. This actually is from a ritual I did the other night with a green and an orange candle for healing and for like job opportunities and things like that. So this, where I am right now in the middle of the woods, is one of the many places we would gather. You know, people say pagans don't have churches, they don't have temples or whatever. Well, you're standing in it right now. Pagans don't really have, well, besides their own living rooms and bedrooms and like community centers like the Robin's Nest, you're right, we don't really have churches. There are some temples around the country, but they're so few and far between that the Robin's Nest is our closest temple here. This whole place, this whole natural, untouched setting is church for us. It is temple. It is the ultimate sacred space. In the pagan community, there's a little bit of a different tradition. You know, we have what we call a hand fasting, which is basically a trial marriage for a year and a day or another predetermined length of time. It's traditionally a year and a day, though. So Tavish and I have been dating, and we are going to have a hand fasting ceremony in January. And basically what that will entail is, yes, we will be spiritually married. We'll be married in the pagan community, but we will not be legally married for a while.
So what a hand fasting is for the ceremony, we'll have our hands tied together with pieces of ribbon. The ribbon represents
eternity, the eternal knot. It represents us, our lives being tied together. And so the ribbon will be like a wedding ring. We won't wear rings, we'll have the ribbon.
So what a hand fasting breaks down to is it is a non-legally binding spiritual commitment to each other, in which we'll be seen as husband and wife in the pagan community, even though we're not seen as husband and wife in the eyes of the state.
Right, so it's basically a trial marriage. We'll be husband and wife, but in the spiritual aspect and not the legal aspect. And Tavish, in my case, we're probably going to extend the year and a day to probably about 2 years. And at the end of the 2 years, which is when we're planning on having our actual wedding, so at the end of the 2 years, we'll be married and we'll be legally husband and wife, and our lives will be together, legally. Nearly 4 months have come and gone. Throughout this documentary, we have seen the end of summer and the beginning of the whole harvest. We've enjoyed ourselves at Drum Circle, Pagan Pride, and the comfort of the Robin's Nest. Together we have celebrated the Celtic New Year of Samhain and the beginning of the winter holiday season, heading toward Christmas and its parent holiday, Yule. We have met many different pagans from many different backgrounds, and we have addressed misconceptions and stereotypes and shared our traditions with you. We all hope that this will help our friends, co-workers, peers, family, classmates, and others understand who we are just a little bit more, so we can begin to gain acceptance and understanding. Thank you for watching American Pagans.
God has keep you. Merry Pete, Merry Part, Merry we should meet again.